Hello and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I'm Andrew Moran, Ellen's economics correspondent. Each week, I dive into the morass of top economic news stories and fish out compelling narratives, or I retrieve fallacies that have been accepted as conventional wisdom by the swamp creatures for years. This week, will the Federal Reserve fuel the retirement crisis in America? Ever since Fed Chair Jerome Powell announced that the US Central Bank would allow inflation to run above its 2% target rate that has been the norm for decades and keep interest rates near zero for longer, many analysts combed through his remarks to determine what the consequences would be by adopting the inflation nation moniker. While price inflation and a deteriorating currency are the biggest threats to every American today, whether you're young or old, employed or unemployed, it is seniors of today and tomorrow that will inevitably bear the brunt of the central bank's inflationary and destructive pursuits. It is true that most investors will park their money in index funds and equities and a range of other tools when they are working to help maximize their savings and investments. As they approach their winter years, they start transferring their investments into more low-risk instruments, such as bonds, T-bills, and general savings accounts. This strategy makes sense because why would you want to risk your capital that you've been accumulating for all these years, particularly in today's chaotic financial market? But with a depreciated currency and higher prices, it would make it harder for retirees to sustain themselves. Prior to the Federal Reserve embarking upon an inflationary crusade earlier this year, retirees were already in a tough place because interest rates were still at historical lows despite the somewhat tightening of the last couple of years. Now that ZIRP is the order of the day, future retirees would have a hard time coping, especially if they failed to accrue a seven-figure retirement during their working years. Risk might be the only way to survive and thrive in retirement, but who has that kind of temerity in old age? A recent Transamerica survey discovered that 60% of seniors today who've retired sooner than planned. 69% say Social Security will be their primary source of income, and nearly 60% are living on incomes of less than $50,000. Other studies have revealed that many of those approaching retirement either have nothing or have very little saved up for retirement. These should not be the conditions of someone who has worked his or her entire life. When you factor in Social Security on the brink of insolvency and pension funds facing significant shortfalls across the United States today, you have a retirement crisis. So unfortunately, no wonder why there is growing support for a basic income guarantee. For any money that's left over, it's going to be hard for retirees, present and future, to enjoy their final years on this planet, as it will cost more dollars for less. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column, where I discuss China's holdings of US Treasuries, the recent market crash, and the CDC going socialist. Thank you.
Go deeper on the topic discussed in this video, head on over to one of these links here or go to our Liberty Nation Roku channel. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for Liberty.